Have you ever reached the end of the day and wondered where all your time disappeared? You woke up with plans, important ones. Maybe you told yourself today would be different. Today you would finally focus on what matters. You would make progress. You would move closer to the life you imagine when everything is quiet. But somehow the day slipped away. Messages appeared. Small tasks showed up. A quick check on your phone turned into 20 minutes. Then an hour. One distraction led to another. Suddenly it was evening. The energy was gone. And the things that truly mattered were pushed to tomorrow again. This is one of the most frustrating feelings in modern life, not because people are lazy, but because deep down, you know you are capable of more. You know you have dreams that deserve your time, yet the world around you constantly pulls your attention in 1,000 directions. Most people believe the problem is simple. They think they just need better productivity, better discipline, better schedules. They search for faster ways to do more things in less time. But there is a hidden truth that changes everything. The problem is not that you don't have enough time. The problem is that your attention is constantly being stolen. Every notification, every scroll, every interruption fractures your focus. Your brain begins jumping from one thing to another. It feels busy all day, but busy is not the same as meaningful. Psychologists have studied this for years. When the brain constantly switches tasks, productivity drops dramatically. Energy drains faster, stress rises. And at the end of the day, it feels like you ran a marathon but never moved forward. This is why so many people feel overwhelmed even when they work hard. They are fighting time instead of understanding it. But in Japan, there is a completely different way of looking at time. A philosophy that quietly transforms how people live, work, and grow. It begins with a simple shift in thinking. Time is not something you manage. Time is something you respect. In many Japanese traditions, there is a deep appreciation for presence. Whether it is a craftsman shaping wood, a chef preparing a meal, or someone performing a tea ceremony, the focus is the same. One action, full attention, nothing rushed, nothing scattered. This mindset changes how time feels. Because when your attention becomes focused, time expands in ways most people never experience. Think about a moment when you were completely absorbed in something meaningful. Maybe you were creating something, learning something, solving a problem that mattered to you. In that moment, distractions faded. Hours passed differently. Your mind felt clear, almost calm. That state has a name in psychology. It is called flow. And in that state, the brain performs at its highest level. What most people try to achieve through pressure and hustle actually happens naturally when attention becomes focused. This is why some people seem to accomplish so much without appearing stressed or overwhelmed. They are not chasing time. They are protecting their attention. And once you understand this shift, something powerful begins to happen. You stop treating your day like a race against the clock. You begin to see it as a space you can shape. The truth is, you already have enough time to build something meaningful with your life. But first, you must reclaim the hours that quietly disappear every single day. And the moment you begin doing that, everything starts to change. Once you begin noticing where your attention goes, another powerful truth starts to appear. Most of the pressure you feel about time is created by one dangerous belief, the idea that change must be big to matter. People often wait for a perfect moment to start improving their lives. They tell themselves they will begin when they have more energy, more motivation, or more free time. Maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe when life finally slows down. But life rarely slows down on its own. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into years, and the dreams that once felt urgent slowly become distant thoughts. Japanese philosophy approaches this problem in a completely different way. Instead of waiting for dramatic change, it focuses on something far more powerful and far more realistic: small improvement. Every single day. This idea is known as Kaizen. The meaning is simple: continuous progress through tiny steps. At first glance, it sounds almost too small to matter. But hidden inside this philosophy is a psychological principle that can completely transform how you use your time. Your brain is designed to avoid pain and seek comfort. When a task feels large or overwhelming, your mind creates resistance. You feel tension before you even begin. Procrastination appears. Distractions suddenly feel more attractive. But when a task becomes small, the brain stops resisting. Reading a full book feels heavy. Reading 2 pages feels easy. Working out for an hour may feel exhausting. Doing 5 minutes feels manageable. Learning a new skill might seem intimidating. Practicing for 10 minutes feels possible. These small actions slip past the brain's resistance. They allow movement to begin, and once movement begins, something incredible happens. Momentum starts building. Psychologists often describe this as the activation effect. Starting a task is the hardest part, but once you begin, your brain becomes more willing to continue. Energy grows instead of shrinking. This is why small actions repeated consistently can create massive change over time. 5 focused minutes today becomes 35 minutes in a week. That becomes hours in a month. That becomes hundreds of hours in a year. Progress that once seemed impossible slowly becomes inevitable. But Kaizen offers something even more powerful than productivity. It removes fear. When improvement becomes small and continuous, failure loses its power. You are no longer chasing perfection. You are simply moving forward. This creates a powerful emotional shift. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by everything you must achieve, you begin focusing only on the next small step. 1 page today, 1 idea tomorrow, 1 improvement the next day. Over time, these tiny actions reshape your habits, and habits quietly reshape your life. Behavioral scientists have discovered that consistent small habits create stronger neural pathways in the brain than intense bursts of motivation. When you repeat a small action daily, the brain begins to treat it as normal behavior. Eventually, the action no longer requires effort. It becomes automatic. This is when time begins working for you instead of against you. Reading becomes part of your routine. Learning becomes part of your identity. Growth becomes part of your daily rhythm. No pressure. No dramatic struggle, just steady movement forward. And when you look back months later, you realize something surprising. The person you were trying to become did not appear through one big decision. They were built quietly through hundreds of small ones. That is the quiet genius of this Japanese way of living. It doesn't demand superhuman discipline. It simply asks you to take 1 small step today, and another tomorrow, and another the day after that. And before long, those steps begin carrying you toward a life that once felt out of reach. As these small actions begin to repeat each day, another obstacle slowly reveals itself. Not a lack of motivation, not a lack of discipline, something far more subtle. The constant noise inside the mind, a long list of tasks, messages waiting to be answered, ideas half-started, responsibilities pulling your attention in different directions. Everything feels urgent. Everything feels important. And the more you try to handle it all, the more scattered your mind becomes. This is where most people lose control of their time again. They try to move faster. They try to juggle more tasks at once. They open multiple tabs, switch between projects, respond to notifications, and call it productivity. But the brain experiences it very differently. Neuroscience has shown that what people call multitasking is actually rapid task switching. The brain jumps from one activity to another, constantly resetting its focus. Each switch consumes mental energy. Each switch breaks concentration. Each switch leaves a small trace of fatigue behind. Over time, this creates the exhausting feeling of being busy all day but finishing very little. Your attention becomes fragmented. Your energy drains faster. And the important work, the work that truly moves your life forward, gets pushed further away. Japanese philosophy offers a powerful antidote to this chaos through a principle that sounds almost too simple. Complete dedication to one task. In Japan, there is a mindset known as ikijyo-zami. It means fully immersing yourself in a single action, not partially, not while thinking about 5 other things, completely. This way of working may appear slower on the surface. But in reality, it unlocks a level of focus most people rarely experience. When your mind commits fully to one task, something remarkable begins to happen. Distractions lose their grip. The noise fades, your thoughts become clearer and more organized. This is the doorway to a mental state known as flow. In flow, time feels different. The mind becomes deeply engaged. Ideas connect faster, decisions become easier, and productivity rises far beyond what scattered effort can achieve. Many people search for motivation to push themselves harder. But true progress often comes from doing the opposite, slowing your mind down enough to focus. Think about how often your attention is divided during the day. You start a task, then check your phone. You return to the task, then remember another responsibility. You open a message, then switch to something else. Each interruption weakens your ability to go deep. But when you choose one task and give it your full attention, the experience changes completely. The task becomes simpler, progress becomes visible, and something powerful begins to grow inside you. Momentum, psychologists call this the completion effect. Each time your brain finishes a task, it releases a signal of satisfaction. That signal builds motivation naturally. It creates the desire to continue moving forward. This is why focused work feels energizing while scattered work feels draining. One clear action leads to another. Progress becomes steady. Confidence begins to rise. The day slowly transforms from chaos into clarity. Instead of drowning in a sea of unfinished tasks, you begin moving through your day with purpose. One task completed. Then another, and with each focused moment you start realizing something that once felt impossible. You are no longer running out of time. You are finally using it with power. And as your days begin to shift from scattered effort to focused action, a deeper realization quietly begins to surface. Time was never truly the problem. The real challenge has always been the choices that shape how your time is spent. Every single day is filled with decisions. Some are obvious. Others happen so quickly you barely notice them. A quick scroll, one more video, one more delay before starting something important. These choices feel small in the moment, almost invisible. Yet over time, they quietly shape the direction of your life. Where your time goes, your life follows. This is why the final shift in the Japanese way of living is not about working harder. It is about living with intention. In Japan, there is a powerful idea known as ikigai. Often described as your reason for being, it represents the place where what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what gives your life meaning all intersect. When people are connected to their ikigai, something extraordinary happens. Their priorities become clear. The noise that once filled their days begins to lose its power. Because when you know what truly matters to you, protecting your time becomes natural. You begin to notice which activities move your life forward and which ones quietly drain your energy. The distractions that once felt harmless suddenly appear for what they really are, tiny leaks stealing the most valuable resource you have, your time. This awareness does not mean removing joy from your life. The Japanese philosophy deeply values balance, rest, and reflection. But there is a difference between intentional rest and unconscious distraction. Intentional rest restores you. It gives your mind space to breathe. It allows creativity and clarity to return. Unconscious distraction does the opposite. It scatters your attention and leaves you feeling empty afterward. Learning to see that difference is one of the most powerful forms of discipline. And discipline in this sense is not about punishment or restriction. It is about protecting what matters most to you. Each day becomes a quiet act of alignment. You wake up knowing where your energy should go. You move through your tasks with focus. You give attention to the people and goals that bring meaning to your life. Gradually, the feeling of constantly chasing time begins to fade. You are no longer reacting to every interruption. You are choosing how your hours are used. You are directing your life instead of drifting through it. Small improvements continue building through Kaizen. Deep focus continues strengthening through single-task dedication. And purpose continues guiding your decisions through clarity of meaning. Together, these ideas form a powerful system for living, not a system built on pressure or endless hustle. A system built on awareness, because the truth is simple and profound. The people who seem to have time for everything are not living longer days than anyone else. They are simply more intentional with the ones they have. They guard their attention. They move forward with small, consistent steps. They focus deeply on what truly matters. And slowly their lives begin to reflect the things they value most. The same transformation is available to you, not someday, not when life becomes easier, right now in the choices you make today. One focused action, one small improvement, one intentional decision at a time. And as these moments begin to add up, you will notice something remarkable. Time will no longer feel like something you are constantly losing. It will feel like something you are finally using to build the life you were always capable of creating. And when you begin living this way, something subtle but powerful starts to shift inside you. The constant pressure that once followed you through the day begins to dissolve. You stop feeling like time is chasing you. Instead, you begin to walk beside it. Most people live as if life is a race. They rush from one task to another, trying to squeeze as much as possible into every hour. But rushing rarely creates a meaningful life. It only creates exhaustion. The Japanese way reminds us of something deeper. Life is not meant to be rushed through. It is meant to be lived with awareness. When your attention is clear, your actions become deliberate. You start noticing how much of your day used to disappear without purpose. Minutes lost in distraction. Hours spent reacting instead of creating. Energy drained by things that never truly mattered. And once you see this clearly, it becomes impossible to ignore. You start protecting your time the same way you would protect something precious, because that is exactly what it is. Every hour you spend focused on something meaningful becomes a brick in the life you are building. Every small improvement becomes a step forward. Every moment of clarity becomes proof that you are capable of shaping your own path. This is where true confidence begins to grow, not from motivation speeches, not from temporary bursts of inspiration, but from the quiet evidence you collect every day through your actions. You finish what you start. You make progress where it matters. You move closer to the person you want to become, and the mind notices. Psychologists often talk about the power of self-trust. It is the belief that you can rely on yourself. That when you decide to move forward, you actually do it. Self-trust is built through small promises kept to yourself. One focused hour today, one intentional choice tomorrow. One moment where you choose growth over distraction. These moments seem small when they happen, but over time they begin to reshape how you see yourself. You are no longer someone who feels overwhelmed by time. You are someone who uses time with purpose, and once that identity begins to form, your entire relationship with life changes. The goals that once felt distant start becoming reachable. The habits that once felt difficult begin to feel natural. The days that once felt chaotic start feeling structured and calm. This transformation does not require perfection. There will still be distractions. There will still be days when focus slips away. But now you have a way back, a simple system rooted in awareness. Small improvements through daily action. Deep focus on one meaningful task at a time. Clear direction guided by purpose. These principles may look simple on the surface, but together they create a powerful shift in how life unfolds. Because when your attention is protected, your habits are consistent, and your purpose is clear, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your time stops slipping away unnoticed. It begins working for you, and slowly, day by day, the life you once imagined stops feeling like a distant dream. It starts becoming the reality you are building with every intentional moment you choose to live.